We walk around in these silhouettes with nothing left, sometimes second-guessing our next step, the one that takes us from the darkness, holding our breath before we find a harness to aid us through our darkest days. We'll be remembered for what remains, and with a quill and some ink we'll find a link to the things we intend to begin, then hope these stop-motion emotions along with the pens that we wrote in become animated in a moment instead of frozen and paused. We've written down all our thoughts, and before we assure we want to reassure, we'll put back all the pages we tore out in our rage. It's the way that we lift to regain what it is that's important. There's a beast in us all, and it's dormant as we land in the stands of the courtroom, reportedly informed of the misses we in turn just let burn. We yearn for the uncertainty of whatever was out of reach. Let's believe in reset before we forget how to pirouette in these silhouettes. We walk around in these silhouettes with nothing left, sometimes second-guessing our next step, the one that takes us from the darkness, holding our breath before we find a harness to aid us through our darkest days. We'll be remembered for what remains. Let's resist the arrest that we placed on our heads when we settled for second best, when we read between the lines of our minds, when we were left stagnant and tortured, never moving forward. There were doors that opened, new ways to cope, and then when sense dispensed its intent to show us how we were never broken, just bent, we climbed these mountains, found our truth. Happiness became the parachute in our pursuit to uproot the pain that we'd been through. And as we landed crash on the ground, we became a mountain ourselves. So let's duet our regrets, and if they burn, we have earned self-respect. Where we yearned for the uncertainty of whatever was out of reach, we have the belief to reset before we forget how to pirouette in these silhouettes.